Welcome to another episode coming at you from ChooseYourRelationships.com, all for Boss Life Secrets, which can be found on Amazon.com. So today, a long-time listener wanted to know, hey man, how do I get more women to sleep with me, come home with me, without struggle, without, because he said, he's a shy guy and feels like he has a hard time saying what's really on his mind. And he told me he was out on a date with a woman one time, and after the date, he wanted her to come over, but he didn't really know how to articulate and say, So basically, he's holding himself back, and this happens to a lot of dudes. And a lot of time it has to do with, a lot of these dudes put women on a pedestal, and once you realize that you're the prize and not her, that's going to shift your way of thinking. And we've been brainwashed and conditioned to think otherwise. We think that somehow women are special just because she looks good and have a vagina. But let me tell you something. There's a reason why women are chasing guys out here. There's a reason why women are strategically trying to attract and get with guys and keep the guys. There's a reason why women are having baby with guys. They're not doing that because they think they're the prize. They're not doing that because they think they're special. They're doing that because there's something about that guy that intrigues her. She don't necessarily have to like him. She wants to be around him. She wants to be attached to him. Guys are not doing that to women. Women are doing that to guys. So that in itself should tell you that you're the prize. Women benefit from being with guys. We don't benefit. Most men benefit very little being with women, especially today. This ain't your grandma out here today. This ain't Big Mama out here today. This is the modern day women out here today. Most guys don't benefit being with them. Very little. So times have changed. And men have always been the prize. You know why? Because men have access to resources. Yeah, I know women have more opportunities today than ever before. But they're still unhappy. Most of these women burn out. They don't age well. They get sick. Trying not to be stressed out. And a lot of women, they might have a good job, or a nice spot to live, and a car, and all that stuff. And when them bills start coming in, a lot of women be like, man, I'm tired of paying all these damn bills. I want a man. That's the truth. They're not good. Now, a lot of them will never admit to that. Because, a lot of women, the stuff they focus on, they think it matters to us. But we don't care about your job. We don't care about your car. We don't care how much money you got in the bank. We don't even care about your education. All we care, when we look at you, that's where it all starts from. And it trickles down from there. Then we get to know you. Then we get to see what your mind's like. Then we get to see where you came from, who your family is, your parents is. That's usually how that goes. We don't care about your job. You can't pass down a job. You can't pass that down to the next generation. You can pass resources down to the next generation. You can pass businesses down to the next generation. You can pass money down to the next generation, but you can't pass down the job or the car. Car ain't no car is a useless asset. Car is a liability. I'm just saying. I hope you understand where I'm coming from. So, sleeping with women is not really a big deal. You don't have to be a genius to do this. Either she's in or she's out. You don't gotta be smooth Casanova. There's no science. There's no formula. A lot of times, man, if she's feeling you, she's already thinking. She thought about it before you thought about it. In most cases. So sometimes, man, depending on the situation, just ask. Say, hey, I'm gonna be in town, in your town, this weekend. I'm gonna be staying at the Hilton Hotel. I want you to come over. Bring a bottle of wine with you. Boom. She's gonna say yes or no. That's it. And if she says no, hey, keep it moving, man. No big deal. Hey, man, maybe you caught her at a bad time. I don't know, whatever. Whatever the bad time is to her. To me, there's no such thing as a bad time. People just have other things they want to do, and that's perfectly fine. But just keep it moving. It's like either she's in or she's out. If she got other plans, she'll say, hey, I can't make it. Or I don't want to do it. Fine. Just keep it moving. It's no beef. Don't be mad at her. Don't curse her out. Don't do any of that stuff. It's like if you're at an event, this happened to me a lot in the past. If you're at an event and you hit it off with a woman, you introduce yourself, y'all talking, whatever, and you be like, hey, what you doing after the event? You'd be like, oh, nothing much. I don't have no plans. Well, let's go down the street and have a drink or two, And then when you get down there, you chatting it up with her, and you say, hey, I got a hotel room back at where the event was, at the Hilton, or the Ritz-Carlton, or whatever. Hey, let's go upstairs. She go say yes or no. That's really it. And you don't have to build a bunch of rapport with women and all that crap. Man, that's a bunch of crap. That's what women say a lot. Women say talk that talk. They say what sounds nice because they're not really feeling the guy like that. You don't have to build a bunch of rapport or get to know the woman. Look, people have one-night stands all the time. They ain't building a bunch of rapport. It's just her level of attraction is so high, she's willing to throw out all that good stuff, the good talk, stuff that women say, and even some guys say to make things sound good. She'll throw all that out the fucking window and go upstairs with the guy. It ain't got nothing to do with has very little to do with what you've been told. If a woman's feeling you, she's coming over. She's coming to your house, she's coming to the hotel room, whatever. A lot of times, a woman don't necessarily have to be falling head over heels for you either to come over. She can. What's kind of weird to me is some women, they'll feel obligated to come over and get down and dirty with you because they know that you want to do it, so they'll kind of feel obligated to do it. They'll feel obligated, I don't really like that way of thinking, but there's women out here that think like that. They might not be in the best mood, so you have to get her in the mood. You have to lead her the way, so to speak, but she ain't necessarily highly attracted to you like the other group of women would be. And most of the time, if a woman is thinking like, he aight, you aight, if she's thinking like that, She probably not gonna come over to you. You know, you probably just something to do for her, and that's okay. Just keep it moving. You know, and if you tell a woman to come over and she comes over, as soon as you open the door, as soon as I open the door, I pretty much know how it's gonna go down. As soon as she come in, if she gives me a hug and she sits down beside me on the couch and we start chit-chatting for a couple minutes or whatever, have like a glass of wine or whatever you drink, you know. I mean, I don't really drink. I'm not much of a drinker. But whatever you're drinking, you can kind of feel the vibe, how it's gonna go. You know, I'd say within 5 to 10 minutes, I can pretty much feel the vibe where it's gonna go. Now I can tell if it ain't gonna go nowhere either, because if she come in standoffish, give you that fake hug, or it's kind of like if you go to the bar with a woman, or go to have coffee with a woman, and you say, "Hey, I got it," and she said, "No, I'll pay." So she said, "No, I'll pay mine." She's not saying she's gonna pay for everything. She's just paying for hers. If that happens, you pretty much know where she ain't really feeling you like that, for whatever reason. Now maybe she was feeling you another time, but she got other plans. Something else is on her mind. And that's okay. That's okay. That something else is on her mind. And you might have known her for a long time. This happens. This happened to me. It's like I might have known someone for a long time and I just caught her at a bad time. You know? And that's how it is. But the next time I saw her, I caught her at a good time. And everything was back to normal. It happens. People are human. People have shit going on. I don't expect any woman to be available every time I call. That's just not reality. You know, shit happens. We live in a very busy and sometimes crazy world. And that's what it is. But this thing is not that complicated, you know. All you got to do is lead. Sometimes you got to just ask. Just ask her to come over. Just say, hey, I'm going to be at this spot. Hey, why don't you come over? We're going to hang out, hook up. And that's it. You know, it's like sometimes if you're in her presence, this is what I do. If you're physically in her presence, I'll get close. I'll grab her, like physically grab her by the waist or something like that, and I'll pull her towards me, and I'll say, "Hey, where you going?" I'll be like, "Hey, you coming with me?" And I'll say something like that in a very playful way, but I'm serious, and she'll know that I'm serious. Most of the time, that works. Most of the time, I've found that if a woman's in my presence and I'm physically got her in my space, grabbing her, got her body parallel to my body, it's very difficult for a woman to say no in that position. I found it very difficult. Now, it's easy for a woman to say no over the telephone. It's easy for any woman to say no over the telephone. It's very hard to say no in person, especially if she's feeling it. But if she says no for whatever reason, whether it's over the telephone or in person, be cool with it. Because if you act crazy, well, you might never see her again. So hey, there's no science, there's no formula. You just gotta talk. Open your mouth and speak. You know what they said, a closed mouth don't get fed. You know, so hey, if you want any more help with this, just go get my book, Love Can't Wait, which can be found on Amazon.com. And P.S. and by the way, don't forget to check out the podcast.